Senators in Washington, D.C. are on the verge of releasing the text of the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. It would be a monumental moment for President Biden and the American people who largely support infrastructure reform. Next stop, the House, where the bill is sure to face hurdles, including from progressives and party leaders who say they will only vote for it if it is paired with the larger, more ambitious reconciliation bill. Joining me now to discuss, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. She is a member of the Senate Finance Committee and the Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Senator, first, can I get your overall reaction to what has happened this weekend with this infrastructure bill?
Well, I come to you straight from the floor of the United States Senate. I was just presiding for the last hour. You know, we take turns doing this. And I think it's been about 24 hours now that we've been 2 hours away from having a bill ready to go for a vote. So everyone says it's lots of technical details and people are furiously working on them. But it is at least possible that we may have votes tonight or first thing tomorrow. It's clearly moving along.
We will continue to follow. My question for you, is this bill worth passing without the reconciliation bill?
You know, I see it this way. There is one big infrastructure package. It's going to take multiple votes to get there. One series of those votes is this bipartisan sliver of it. But there is no infrastructure package that is only about roads and bridges. We need so much more in this country. We need child care, universal child care, affordable, available child care. We need to attack the climate crisis head on. We need to make the investments that for 40 years now, we have underinvested as a nation. This is our chance to at least begin to deliver on our promises to the American people. We're going to have to do it in a couple of bites, but both bites will go forward. That's what it means to have an infrastructure package.
Do you think it matters the timing? Do those votes need to happen side by side, or is it possible that that second vote gets pushed into the fall?
No, I think what's going to happen is that we're going to see approval of both parts in what we call this work period in the next week or so. And then we're going to have to go back and put more details in the bigger package, in the package that looks at exactly how we want to structure child care to make sure that it's available for every child across this country, to make sure it's available for every parent across this country, and to make sure that we've built it in a way that raises the wages of every child care worker and preschool teacher in America. So there are a lot of details, just like we're discovering right now on the piece that's still pending that will get the first vote. A lot of details to be worked out, but we're going to get our overall package pushed forward, and that's what matters here. It's one package, multiple votes. We have to get it all done together.
Senator, should Democrats continue to aim for the $3.5 trillion package, despite Senator Kyrsten Sinema resisting that?
Look, my view on this is the right way to set a number is to start from the bottom up. What do we need? You know, we've underinvested in so many different things since Ronald Reagan was president and failed to keep up with a changing America, failed to make the investments in child care as more and more mothers have gone into the workforce, failed to address climate crisis head on. I believe we need a $6 trillion infrastructure package, but I recognize nobody gets everything they want. Right now, our caucus is settled on $3.5 trillion. We're going to work hard to try to make that meet our needs, to stretch it as hard as we can over all the things we need, including mass transit, including home and community-based care, including expanding Medicare, including dropping the age of Medicare, and covering vision, dental, and health. You know, this is the way it goes. Look at all the things I'm trying to list, things that if, as a nation, we've been making those investments as we've gone along, if we've made more investments in all of those areas, we wouldn't have to hit it at this level now. But we are so far behind. It's not just crumbling roads and bridges. It's a crumbling daycare center. It's people who are being crushed by medical debts. And it's a climate crisis that gets worse by the hour. we have a lot to do here. And frankly, it'll be tough to do it on $3.5 trillion.
Let's talk about the eviction moratorium that just expired. So last month, the Supreme Court allowed the eviction ban to continue through the end of July. That means yesterday. Kavanaugh made it clear he would block any additional extensions unless there was, quote, clear and specific congressional authorization. President Biden says the ruling means his hands are tied. First of all, do you agree? And if so, why didn't Congress get to this sooner?
No, I do not believe that the president's hands are tied. I believe that the CDC has both responsibility and authority to move forward in a time of crisis. COVID cases are on the rise. You've just talked about it. We have new mask mandates in place. We're watching younger people hospitalized with COVID. We're watching deaths increase. It is important that we keep people safe. And that means we don't want people put out onto the street, don't want people couch surfing, don't want people having to double up and triple up with neighbors and with family. That's how we increase the spread of COVID. You know, there's actually some good data on this, suggesting that the eviction works to help promote public health and keep down the spread of COVID. I believe CDC should step up in this instance, stop the continue the moratorium, stop the evictions, and keep us all safe. They can do that. They should do that.
So on the congressional side, though, do you think that Speaker Pelosi should bring the House back to force a vote?
Look, I'm glad for Congress to do everything we can possibly do. But this is urgent. Time is running out. I'd like to see the CDC step up this evening. They have the authority. And look, if we have to litigate this in the courts again, then we'll litigate it in the courts. But at least it will buy us some time. And if you're a family about to be moved out onto the streets, that time matters. Remember, Congress has already developed the tools to deal with this foreclosure. We're not asking landlords just to eat it. What we've done is we've allocated billions of dollars, but the programs are not underway in every state. They have not reached the people they need to reach. So we've got the tools, we've got the money, we just need the time. The CDC could give us the time right now.
I do want to also make sure that we talk about student debt because I believe these crises are related. You and some of your Senate colleagues have urged President Biden to extend the pause on federal student loan payments and interest past the September 30th deadline, called on him to forgive up to $50,000 per borrower in federal student debt through executive action, despite the fact that Speaker Pelosi says Biden doesn't hold the power to cancel student debt. Does the Speaker's comment suggest that debt cancellation is dead?
No, not at all. The president has the authority to cancel student loan debt. And you know how I know that? Because President Obama did it, because President Trump did it, and because President Biden has done it. In fact, President Trump and President Biden together have already canceled about $80 billion in student loan debt. They have the authority. The laws are very clear on this. What we need the President Biden to do is to pick up that authority and use it. It is a matter of economic justice. Keep in mind that about 40% of the people who have student loan debt never got a diploma. These are people who are earning at a high school graduate's level but paying on college debt. Also keep in mind about 2/3 of the people who graduate from state universities, they end up having to take out student loan to be able to pay. It's also a racial justice issue. African Americans borrow more money to go to school, more money while they're in school, and have a harder time paying it off when they get out of school. President Biden has the authority, and he could make this. He could do this now, right now, and advance both economic justice and racial justice in our country. I hope he will do this.
Senator, before I let you go, and I realize that you have been presiding over the Senate floor, so I'm not sure if you heard Minority Leader McCarthy's comments about Speaker Pelosi, his supposed joke about hitting her with a gavel.
No.
Can we play the sound for the senator really quickly?
I'll make just one promise to you. If we win the majority, which I know we're going to, you're all invited. If you come to this party, but more importantly, I want you to watch Nancy Pelosi hand me that gavel. It'll be hard not to hit her with it, but I will bang it down for American freedom. Thank you.
Not to hit her with it. Is that what you expect to hear from the House Minority Leader?
Look, Kevin McCarthy makes clear every day that he doesn't understand what leadership is about. All he cares about is playing politics and power. And that is not good for his party, and it is not good for Congress, and it is not good for our nation. Shame on Kevin McCarthy.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, thank you.